Welcome, dear friend, to a quiet little corner of the evening where you can let the world slip away for a while. Take a deep breath and let your shoulders soften. You've found a moment just for you, a chance to unwind and drift into a gentle, soothing journey. I'm so glad you're here, ready to step into a world far removed from today, a world of dusty streets, flickering oil lamps, and the hum of life in ancient Rome. Tonight, we're going to walk through a single day in that ancient city, feeling its rhythms, its challenges, and its quiet moments, all wrapped in a cozy, sleepy haze. This is boring history for sleep, where the ordinary becomes a soft lullaby, and I'm here to guide you through it. First, let's make sure you're as comfortable as can be. Find a cozy spot, maybe your favorite armchair, or perhaps you're tucked under a warm blanket in bed. If you like, dim the lights just a touch until the room feels soft and safe, like a little cocoon. Maybe grab a cup of herbal tea or a glass of water to sip slowly, letting its coolness ground you. If you have a favorite pillow, pull it close, let it cradle your head just right. Imagine the faintest sound of distant crickets, or a soft breeze rustling through leaves, whatever helps you feel at ease. This is your time, your space, and I'm here to make it as restful as possible. Picture the fabric of your blanket, its texture brushing against your fingers, or the gentle weight of a throw draped over your lap, adding an extra layer of comfort as you settle in. Tonight, we're not just telling a story, we're stepping into one. You're going to live a day in ancient Rome, not as a grand emperor or a mighty gladiator, but as an ordinary person, waking up to the sounds of a bustling city, feeling the weight of its challenges, and finding quiet beauty in its everyday moments. This isn't about battles or grand speeches. It's about the small, tactile details, the warmth of a clay cup in your hands, the creak of a wooden door, the scent of fresh bread mingling with the dust of the streets. It's a day where you'll discover why surviving in ancient Rome was no small feat, and yet there's something strangely comforting in its simplicity. Imagine the feel of the cool morning air against your skin, the faint hum of voices echoing through narrow alleys, the way the sunlight filters through a haze of dust to light your path. By the end, you might just feel a little gratitude for the modern world, but for now, let's let that thought drift away like a leaf on a stream as you settle in. Imagine yourself sinking deeper into your cozy spot. Let your breath slow in and out like the gentle tide of a far-off sea. If you're enjoying this journey, and only if you feel like it, you might consider liking or subscribing to join us for more sleepy adventures through history. But there's no rush, no pressure, just you, here, in this moment, ready to step into a world long past. Let the warmth of your teacup seep into your palms, the steam curling up to caress your face, or the cool glass of water resting against your fingertips, grounding you further. Picture yourself in a small, dimly lit room. In ancient Rome. It's early, so early the world outside is still cloaked in the soft gray of dawn. You're lying on a simple bed, not quite like the plush mattress you know today, but a straw-filled mattress, covered with a rough woolen blanket that scratches just a little against your skin. The air is cool, carrying a faint scent of olive oil from the lamp that burned low through the night. Somewhere nearby, you hear the distant clatter of a cart rolling over cobblestones, the first stirrings of the city waking up. Your eyes are heavy, your body still nestled in the warmth of sleep, but the day is calling, gently pulling you forward. The straw beneath you shifts with a soft rustle, a sound that blends with the faint creak of the wooden frame, and you feel the slight pressure of the blanket as it molds to your form. This is Rome, not the Rome of marble statues and grand forms, but the Rome of ordinary people, where every day is a small battle to get by. You're one of them, a regular soul in a city of millions, waking to a world without electricity, without running water, without the hum of a coffee maker or the glow of a phone screen. It's a world where survival means work, resourcefulness, and a little luck. As you lie there, you can almost feel the weight of the day ahead, not overwhelming, but real, tangible, like the heft of a clay jug in your hands. Imagine the coolness of the wall if you reached out to touch it, the rough texture of the plaster catching under your fingertips, or the faint scent of dried herbs tucked into a corner, left by a previous occupant. And yet, there's a strange comfort in knowing exactly what needs to be done, in the rhythm of a life so different from your own. Take another slow breath and let your mind settle into this moment. You don't need to rush. The beauty of this story is in its slowness, its quiet details, the way it wraps around you like a soft scarf. You're not just hearing about ancient Rome, you're there, feeling the cool morning air on your face, hearing the soft coo of pigeons outside your window, smelling the faint smoke from a neighbor's cooking fire. This is your day, and I'm here to walk you through it, step by gentle step, letting the sounds and sensations guide you deeper into rest. As you start to sit up, you feel the straw beneath you shift, a little prickly, a little unfamiliar. Your body is still heavy with sleep, but there's a spark of curiosity, too. What will this day bring? The air smells faintly of dust and wood smoke, and you can hear the soft clink of pottery as someone in the house begins their morning tasks. The window frame creaks slightly as a breeze moves through, and you notice the faint outline of a spiderweb in the corner, its delicate threads catching the first light. This is where we begin, dear friend, in the quiet, unremarkable moments of a Roman morning. A day that will challenge you, surprise you, and maybe even make you smile at its quirks. Let's step into it together, slowly, gently, and see what it's like to live a day you might not survive. But for now, just let yourself drift, safe and cozy, into this ancient world. As you lie there, nestled in the quiet of your small Roman room, the world begins to stir around you. The straw beneath your mattress crinkles softly, a faint rustle that feels both strange and oddly grounding. The woolen blanket draped over you is coarse, not like the soft fleece you might know today, but it holds the warmth of your body, a small comfort in the cool morning air. You take a slow breath, and the scent of the room fills your senses, a mix of dry earth from the mud brick walls, the faint smokiness of last night's oil lamp, and a hint of something herbal, perhaps thyme or rosemary, lingering from a neighbor's cooking. This is ancient Rome, and you're waking up to a day that's both ordinary and extraordinary, a day that will test you in ways you might not expect. The faint creak of the wooden bed frame blends with the rustle of straw, and you feel the slight tug of the blanket as it shifts with your movement. Your eyes flutter open, heavy with sleep, and you notice the dim light creeping through the small window, just a square cut into the wall. No glass, only a thin linen cloth fluttering slightly in the dawn breeze. The light is soft, a pale gold. That paints the room in gentle hues, catching on the rough edges of the plaster and the uneven surface of the clay jug on your shelf. You blink, adjusting to the faint glow, and see the simple outlines of your surroundings, a wooden stool in the corner, its legs worn smooth by years of use and slightly wobbly. A small clay jug on a shelf, its surface cool to the touch and marked with faint fingerprints. And the rough texture of the walls, patched here and there with bits of plaster that crumble slightly under your gaze. It's not much, but it's home, and there's a quiet rhythm to it, like the steady beat of your own heart, punctuated by the occasional drip of water from a crack in the ceiling. Outside, the city is waking. You hear the distant clatter of wooden cartwheels on cobblestones, a sound that's sharp but somehow soothing in its familiarity. A rooster crows somewhere nearby, its call cutting through the morning stillness, followed by the soft cluck of hens settling into their routine. There's the soft murmur of voices, neighbors greeting each other, perhaps, or a vendor setting up for the day blended with the faint jingle of a donkey's harness. You catch a whiff of dust kicked up by passing feet, mingled with the warm, yeasty scent of bread baking in a communal oven down the street, and the sharp tang of garlic from a nearby stall. It's a world alive with small, tactile details, and you're part of it, stirring slowly, letting the day pull you gently from sleep. The breeze carries a hint of the Tiber's muddy banks, a subtle undertone that mixes with the morning air. You shift on the mattress, and the straw protests with a soft crunch, making you smile just a little. It's not exactly the cloud-like bed you might dream of today, with its memory foam and fluffy pillows. No, this is a Roman bed functional, a bit lumpy, and definitely not designed for hitting the snooze button. You imagine what your friends back in the modern world would say about this setup. No coffee machine, no Wi-Fi. How do you even survive? You think, and the thought brings a quiet chuckle. The straw pokes through in places, a gentle reminder of the bed's simplicity, and you adjust your position, feeling the slight give of the wooden frame beneath. But here, in this moment, there's something oddly satisfying about the simplicity, about knowing the day ahead is yours to meet, one small task at a time. The blanket's edge brushes your cheek, its woolen texture a contrast to the smooth cotton you're used to. Let's pause for a breath. In and out, slow and steady. Feel the weight of your blanket, or maybe the softness of your own cozy setup. Wherever you are, grounding you. This is a journey meant to be gentle, to wrap you in the sounds and sensations of a world long gone. You're safe here, drifting through this story, and I'm right beside you, whispering softly through the ages. My voice a soft thread in the morning quiet. You swing your legs over the edge of the bed, your bare feet touching the cool, packed earth floor. It's smooth but gritty, a reminder of how close you are to the earth itself in this city of stone and dust. Your toes curl slightly at the chill, and you reach for a pair of simple leather sandals by the bed. They're worn, the leather soft from use, but they creak a little as you slip them on, the straps brushing against your skin with a faint, dry sound. You stand, stretching slowly, feeling the stiffness in your body from a night on that straw mattress. It's not unbearable, just different. A reminder that every movement here takes a bit more effort than you're used to. The floor feels cool under your arches, and you notice a small pebble embedded in the earth, a tiny detail that adds to the room's lived-in feel. The air in the room carries a faint dampness, a touch of morning dew that slipped through the open window. You step closer to it, pulling back the linen cloth to peek outside. The street below is narrow, lined with low buildings much like your own, their walls a patchwork of faded plaster and weathered stone. A woman hurries by, balancing a clay jug on her shoulder, her tunic swaying as she moves, the fabric catching the light in soft folds. A child darts past, laughing, kicking up a small cloud of dust that catches the morning light and sparkles briefly before settling. You can almost taste the dryness of the air, mixed with the faint sweetness of figs from a nearby market stall and the subtle saltiness carried from the river. It's a world that's both foreign and familiar, alive with the hum of people starting their day, and you feel the slight breeze ruffle your hair as you watch. You turn back to the room, noticing the small details that make it yours. A wooden comb rests on the shelf, its teeth uneven but functional, with a faint notch where it's caught on a knot. A folded tunic, coarse linen dyed a faded blue, waits for you to slip into, its edges frayed from wear. There's no mirror, no electric light to flick on, just the soft glow of dawn and the quiet sounds of the city. You run your fingers along the edge of the clay jug, feeling its cool, smooth surface, and you smile again at the thought of how different this is from your usual morning routine. No buzzing phone, No rush to check emails, just you, this room, and the slow unfolding of a Roman day. The jug's weight feels solid in your hand, and you set it down gently, hearing the soft clink as it settles. Another breath, slow and deep. Let the tension in your shoulders melt away. Let your mind settle into this moment. The beauty of this story is in its slowness, in the way it lets you linger in these small, tactile sensations. You're not just hearing about ancient Rome, you're here, feeling the cool floor under your feet, hearing the distant clink of pottery, smelling the faint smoke of a morning fire. The window frame creaks again, and you notice the faint outline of a moth fluttering near the light, its wings a soft blur against the dawn. It's a world that's challenging, yes, but also strangely comforting in its rhythm, a steady pulse that matches your own breathing. You move toward the door, a heavy wooden slab that creaks as you push it open. The sound is low, almost musical, and you step into a small courtyard shared with other families in your insula, the Roman apartment block you call home. The courtyard is alive with soft sounds, the splash of water as someone fills a jug from the communal fountain, the rustle of laundry being hung to dry, the low chatter of voices planning the day. The air here is fresher, carrying the scent of wet stone and the faint tang of olive oil from a nearby kitchen, with a hint of damp earth from a recent watering. You pause, taking it all in, letting the world wrap around you like a gentle embrace. The cool stone of the fountain's edge brushing your fingers as you pass as you stand there. You can't help but think about how different this is from your modern mornings. No hot shower waiting, no toaster popping up a quick breakfast, no alarm clock to jolt you awake. Here, every task takes time, effort, a little ingenuity fetching water, lighting a fire, dressing by hand. You imagine telling your friends about this moment, about waking up to a world where the day starts with the creak of a door and the smell of dust and figs. They'd probably laugh, saying, "You wouldn't last an hour." And maybe they're right, ancient Rome isn't exactly forgiving. But for now, you're here, and there's a quiet thrill in stepping into this day, in feeling it unfold one slow, deliberate moment at a time. The courtyard sounds fading into a soft hum as you prepare to move forward. One more breath, in and out, letting the calm of this story wash over you. You're ready to move forward, to step fully into this Roman morning, to meet the challenges and quirks of a day that's both ordinary and extraordinary. The city is awake now, and you're part of it, carried along by its rhythms, its sounds, its scents, the faint echo of a vendor's call lingering in the air. Let's go gently into the heart of this ancient world and see what this day holds for you. Step by slow, soothing step, the morning air in your small Roman room feels crisp against your skin as you stand in the courtyard. The creak of the wooden door still echoing softly in your mind. The city of ancient Rome is waking, its sounds weaving a gentle tapestry around you, distant voices, the clatter of a cart, the faint coo of pigeons perched on a nearby roof, the soft clink of pottery being moved in a neighbor's home. You take a slow, deep breath, letting the coolness fill your lungs, carrying the faint scent of wet stone and the lingering sweetness of figs from the market down the street, blended with a subtle hint of damp earth from the courtyard's recent watering. Your sandals shift slightly on the gritty cobblestones beneath your feet, and you feel the weight of the day ahead, not heavy, but present, like the steady rhythm of your own heartbeat, punctuated by the faint drip of water from a crack in the fountain's edge. This is your morning, an ordinary start to a day in a world so different from your own, yet strangely comforting in its simplicity. Let's pause for a moment. Breathe in and out, slow and steady. Feel the softness of your blanket or the warmth of your cozy spot, wherever you are, grounding you. This story is meant to wrap you in its gentle folds, to carry you through the small, tactile moments of a Roman morning. You're safe here, drifting through this ancient world, and I'm right beside you, whispering softly as we go. My voice blending with the morning's quiet hum, you turn back toward your room, the small space that feels both foreign and familiar. The straw mattress on your bed is still slightly rumpled from sleep, the coarse woolen blanket folded loosely at its edge, its fibers catching the light in soft, uneven patterns. You move slowly, deliberately, letting your body ease into the day. The first task is to shake off the last traces of sleep, to prepare yourself for the world outside. You reach for the wooden comb on the shelf, its uneven teeth worn smooth from years of use, with a faint notch where it's caught on a knot. Running it through your hair, you feel the gentle tug as it catches on a tangle, a small reminder of the effort it takes to start the day here. The comb's wood feels cool against your scalp, and you notice a faint scent of cedar lingering from its making. You smile at the thought of your modern bathroom, with its hot water on demand and shelves of products promising perfect hair shampoos. With exotic scents, conditioners that glide through effortlessly. Here, things are different. You step toward a small clay basin in the corner, filled with water you fetched yesterday from the courtyard fountain, its surface rippling slightly as you approach. The water is cool, almost shockingly so, as you splash it onto your face. It trickles down your cheeks, carrying away the sleepiness, and you feel the slight sting of the cold against your skin, a refreshing jolt that wakes your senses. You dip your hands again, rubbing them together, noticing the faint grit of dust that seems to cling to everything in this city, mixing with the water to form tiny beads on your fingers. The basin's clay edge feels rough under your palms, and you hear the soft splash as a drop falls back into the pool, drying your face with a rough linen cloth. You catch a glimpse of yourself in a small, polished bronze disc hanging on the wall. It's not a mirror like you're used to, not crystal clear, but it reflects just enough to show your face, softened by the morning light, with a faint smudge of dust on your cheek. You chuckle softly, imagining what your friends would say about this mirror. No zooming in for perfect makeup, no bright lights to check every detail, just a blurry outline that forces you to accept the morning's imperfections. But there's a charm in its simplicity, in the way it forces you to focus on the basics. You run your fingers through your hair again, smoothing it as best you can, feeling the slight resistance of the tangles, and turn to the next part of your morning, the cloth's texture brushing against your neck as you set it aside, dressing. Comes next, and you move to the folded tunic on the shelf. It's made of coarse linen, dyed a faded blue that's seen better days, its edges frayed and soft from wear. As you slip it over your head, the fabric feels scratchy against your skin, not like the soft cotton or silky blends of your modern wardrobe. The tunic is loose, practical, but it takes a moment to adjust the folds, to tie the woven belt around your waist just right, its leather creaking with a dry sound as you pull it tight. The belt is simple, a strip of leather that brushes against your hips, and you notice the faint smell of the leather, warm and slightly musky, mixed with the dust it's picked up from the floor. You slip your sandals back on, feeling the worn leather conform to your feet, the straps digging gently into your skin, and take a moment to stretch, letting the stiffness of sleep ease out of your body, your muscles protesting with a soft ache. Another breath in and out. Let the calm of this story settle over you like a soft blanket. You're here in this Roman morning, feeling the textures of linen and leather, hearing the distant hum of the city, the faint clatter of a neighbor's pot. It's a slow, deliberate start, and you're part of it, moving through each moment. With care, the cool air brushing your arms as you stretch. Now, it's time for breakfast, a simple affair in this world without toasters or instant coffee. You step into the small kitchen area, shared with others in your insula. The space is cramped, with a low stone hearth in the center, its embers still glowing faintly from last night's fire, casting a warm red glow across the room. A clay pot sits nearby, filled with a simple porridge made of barley and water, its surface steaming slightly from the residual heat. You stir it gently with a wooden spoon, the soft scrape of wood against clay blending with the quiet crackle of the hearth, a sound that echoes faintly off the stone walls. The porridge smells earthy, slightly nutty, and you add a drizzle of honey from a small jar, its sweetness cutting through the plainness of the grain. The sticky liquid clinging to the spoon as you stir. You scoop a portion into a clay bowl, the surface cool against your fingers, its rim chipped slightly from use. Sitting on a wooden stool, you take your first bite, the porridge warm and hearty, if a bit bland compared to your usual breakfast of cereal or toast with jam. You imagine your modern self, craving a frothy latte or a stack of pancakes with syrup, dripping down the sides, and you smile at the contrast. Here, breakfast is about sustenance, not indulgence, and there's something grounding in that, the warmth spreading through your chest as you chew. The spoon feels heavy in your hand, its wood-worn smooth, and you notice the faint taste of smoke from the hearth lingering in the porridge. As you eat, you glance around the kitchen, taking in the small details of your home. The walls are rough, patched with plaster that's chipped in places, revealing the mud brick beneath, its texture catching the light in uneven patterns. A few clay pots line a shelf, each one slightly different, their surfaces worn from daily use, some with faint cracks that tell stories of dropped loads. A bundle of dried herbs hangs in the corner, giving off a faint scent of thyme that mingles with the smoke from the hearth, its leaves rustling softly as you brush past. The floor is packed earth, swept clean, but always carrying a faint layer of dust, its surface cool under your sandals. A small wooden bowl sits nearby, its interior stained from past meals, adding to the room's lived-in feel. It's not a grand space, not like the sleek kitchens of today with their stainless steel and humming appliances, but it's functional, lived in, and it feels like yours, a sanctuary of sorts amidst the city's chaos. You pause to listen to the sounds drifting in from the courtyard. The splash of water as someone fills a jug at the fountain, the soft laughter of children playing, their voices rising and falling like a gentle wave, the low murmur of neighbors discussing the day's tasks, punctuated by the occasional clank of metal. The air carries the scent of fresh bread from a nearby bakery, a reminder that the city is fully awake now, blended with the faint tang of olive oil from a neighbor's cooking and the earthy smell of damp soil. You take another bite of porridge, savoring the simplicity, and let your mind wander to what your friends would think of this meal. No avocado toast. They tease, their voices echoing in your imagination, and you chuckle softly, the sound blending with the quiet hum of the morning, the spoon clinking gently against the bowl. Let's breathe again, slow and deep. Feel the weight of your cozy setup, whether it's a blanket or a pillow, anchoring you. This story is your escape, a chance to linger in the small, tactile moments of a Roman morning, the warmth of the porridge lingering on your tongue. You're safe here, wrapped in the sounds and sensations of this ancient world, the faint creak of the stool beneath you adding to the rhythm. You finish your porridge, scraping the last bit from the bowl, the wooden spoon rasping against the clay, and set it aside. The next task is to tidy up, a small but necessary part of the morning. You rinse the bowl with a splash of water from the basin, the cool liquid slipping over your fingers, leaving tiny droplets that catch the light. The hearth needs attention till you add a few sticks of wood, coaxing the embers back to life with a gentle blow, the smoke curling upward in thin tendrils that carry the scent of pine and earth. The fire crackles softly, sending up a warm glow. That dances on the walls, and you feel the heat against your face as you lean closer. It's a small task, but it feels satisfying, a reminder that every moment here requires care, effort, a little patience, the faint ash settling on your hands as you work. Stepping back into the courtyard, you take a moment to notice the world around you. The sun is higher now, its light warming the cobblestones and casting soft shadows across the insula, the stone's edges worn smooth by countless feet. A neighbor waves as she hangs laundry, the damp linen flapping gently in the breeze, its texture visible in the sunlight. A cart rumbles by on the street, its driver calling out to clear the way, his voice rough but familiar, the wheels grinding against the stone. The air is alive with smells: bread, smoke, the faint tang of olive oil from someone's cooking, and the ever-present dust that seems to settle on everything, coating your sandals with a fine layer. You feel the warmth of the sun on your face, the slight grit of the cobblestones under your sandals, and you realize you're fully awake now, ready to meet the day, the faint hum of the city vibrating through the ground, one more breath, in and out. Let the calm of this morning wrap around you, soothing and steady. You've woken, washed, dressed, and eaten, each task grounding you in this Roman world, the taste of honey still lingering faintly on your lips. It's a simple start, but it's not without its challenges: no running water, no electric lights, just you and the rhythms of the city, the faint echo of a child's laugh drifting through the air. You're part of it now, moving through this morning with a quiet strength, ready for whatever comes next. The courtyard's quiet pulse guiding you forward. The sun is climbing higher now, its warm golden light spilling across the narrow streets of ancient Rome, casting long shadows from the insula where you stand. The courtyard around you hums with life, neighbors chatting softly, the splash of water from the fountain, the faint creak of a wooden cart rolling by, the soft clink of pottery as someone sets out their morning wares. You take a slow, deep breath, and the air carries a mix of scents: the dry dust of the cobblestones, the sharp tang of olive oil from a nearby kitchen, the warm, yeasty aroma of bread wafting from the bakery down the street, and a faint hint of damp earth from the courtyard stones. Your sandals feel worn from the morning's tasks, their leather straps slightly stiff against your feet, and you feel the weight of the day ahead, not heavy, but present, like the steady rhythm of your own heartbeat, blended with the distant hum of the city. Midday in Rome is a time of work, errands, and community, a rhythm that pulls you along like the steady flow of the Tiber River. Let's pause for a moment. Breathe in and out, slow and steady. Feel the softness of your blanket or the weight of your pillow, grounding you in your cozy space. This story is your gentle escape, a chance to linger in the tactile details of a Roman day, the faint warmth of the sun lingering in your memory. You're safe here, wrapped in the sounds and sensations of this ancient world, and I'm right beside you, whispering softly as we go, my voice a soft thread in the midday hum. You step out of the courtyard, your leather sandals scuffing lightly against the cobblestones, their edges worn smooth by countless footsteps. The street is alive now, bustling with people moving through their daily tasks. A woman balances a clay jug on her shoulder, her tunic swaying as she hurries toward the fountain, the fabric catching the light in soft folds. A man pushes a cart piled with vegetables, his voice calling out prices in a rhythmic chant, the wheels grinding against the stone with a steady rhythm. You feel the warmth of the sun on your face, tempered by a faint breeze that carries the scent of sun-warmed stone and the distant hint of the river's muddy banks, its water a faint shimmer in the distance. The air is dry, and you notice a fine layer of dust settling on your tunic, coating your arms with a soft, gritty film that brushes off with a faint puff. Your first task is to fetch water, a chore that's as essential as breathing in this world without faucets or pipes. You pick up a clay amphora from the courtyard, its surface cool and smooth against your hands, marked with faint scratches from past use. It's heavy, even empty, and you smile wryly at the thought of your modern self, used to turning on a tap. Without a second thought, the sound of running water, a distant memory. Water on demand? Luxury, you imagine muttering to yourself, and the thought brings a soft chuckle, the amphora's weight shifting in your grip. You make your way to the communal fountain, a stone basin fed by an aqueduct that hums with the faint trickle of water, its surface rippling in the sunlight. The line is short, just a few neighbors chatting quietly, their voices blending with the splash of water against clay, the stone edge cool under your fingers as you wait. As you wait, you notice a slight ache in your shoulders, a reminder of the straw mattress you slept on last night, its lumps pressing into your back. It's not uncommon here, aches and pains are part of life, with no over-the-counter painkillers. To ease them, just the memory of the night's discomfort lingering in your muscles. You rub your shoulder gently, thinking of the herbal poultice you might make later, a mix of mint and willow bark. That's the Roman equivalent of a quick fix. It sent a faint promise in your mind. The thought makes you grin your friends. Back home would probably faint at the idea of brewing their own medicine, their voices echoing with, "No pharmacy run." How do you survive? You shake your head, amused by the contrast. The fountains trickle a steady backdrop to your thoughts. You reach the fountain, tilting your amphora to catch the stream of water, its coolness splashing against your hands and wrists, leaving tiny droplets that catch the light. The weight of the filled amphora pulls at your arms as you lift it, and you adjust your grip, feeling the clay's smooth surface press against your palms, the water sloshing gently with each step. You carry it carefully back to the insula, the sound of your sandals on the cobblestones blending with the faint murmur of the street, the amphora's weight a constant presence. The task is simple but demanding, and you can't help but think of how much effort goes into something as basic as a drink of water here, the cool liquid seeping through the clay to dampen your fingers. No wonder your modern self might struggle. To keep up, the image of a water bottle from a fridge flashing briefly in your mind back in the courtyard. You set the amphora down with a soft thud, the sound echoing faintly off the walls, wiping your brow with the back of your hand, feeling the dampness of sweat mixed with dust. The sun is higher now, and the heat is starting to build, though it's tempered by the occasional breeze that rustles the laundry hanging nearby. You notice the dust clinging to your sandals, and you give them a quick shake, watching the fine particles drift into the air, catching the light like tiny stars before settling back to the ground. It's a small, repetitive task, but there's a rhythm to it, a quiet satisfaction in keeping things in order, the faint scent of the courtyard's earth rising with each movement. Next, you turn to cleaning, another midday chore that keeps the insula livable. You grab a broom made of bundled twigs, its handle worn smooth from use, the rough texture pressing into your palm. Sweeping the packed earth floor of your room, you hear the soft scratch of the twigs against the ground, kicking up small clouds of dust that catch the sunlight and dance briefly before settling. The task is methodical, almost meditative, and you find yourself settling into the rhythm, the broom's bristles brushing against a small pebble that skitters across the floor. You think of your modern vacuum cleaner, whirring away with the press of a button, its sleek design a stark contrast to this humble tool, and you chuckle softly. No Roomba here, you muse, imagining the look of horror on your friends' faces if they saw this twig broom in action, their laughter echoing. In your mind, Dada, as you sweep, you notice a neighbor across the courtyard, scrubbing a clay pot with a handful of sand, the gritty sound carrying over the quiet. It's a common cleaning method here, effective but rough on the hands, and you wince at the thought of applying it to your own dishes, the sand's texture a vivid image in your mind. No dishwashers, no liquid soap, just sand and elbow grease. The faint scratch of it against clay lingering in the air. You exchange a nod with your neighbor, a silent acknowledgement of the shared work that binds this community together, her smile a warm contrast to the task. The courtyard is a hub of activity now. Children playing near the fountain, their laughter bright and clear, the splash of water punctuating their game. An older man repairing a sandal, his fingers deftly weaving leather, the thread snapping softly as he works. A woman kneading dough, the soft thump of her hands against the wooden board blending with the hum of voices. The dough's yeasty scent drifting over, the community life here is vibrant, interconnected, and you feel it in the small interactions: a smile, a quick greeting, a shared glance, the faint clink of a jug being set down. But it's not without its challenges. You notice a faint cough from one of the children, a reminder of how common ailments spread in this crowded city, the sound rasping slightly in the air. Without modern medicine, a simple cold can linger, and you think of the herbal teas and poultices. That are the best defense here, the faint scent of mint, a memory in your nose. You make a mental note to check your own supply of dried mint later, just in case. The thought of brewing tea over a smoky hearth, making you smile your modern self, would probably demand a drive-through latte instead. The steam rising in your imagination. Let's pause again. Breathe in and out, slow and deep. Let the sounds of Rome, the splash of water, the murmur of voices, the scratch of the broom wrap around you like a soft blanket, the faint warmth of the sun lingering on your skin. You're safe here, in this gentle story, and I'm right. Here with you, guiding you through the day. My voice a soft hum in the midday quiet. Your next errand takes you to the market, a short walk down the narrow street. The sun is bright now, and you squint slightly, feeling the warmth on your shoulders, the light reflecting off the stone walls in sharp glints. The street is crowded, with vendors calling out their wares: fresh figs, wheels of cheese, bundles of herbs, their voices rising and falling like a song. The air is thick with scents, the sweet ripeness of fruit, the sharp bite of garlic, the dusty smell of grain sacks piled high, the faint tang of fish from a nearby stall. You carry a small woven basket, its rough fibers brushing against your arm, the texture catching on your tunic, and you weave through the crowd, nodding to familiar faces, their smiles fleeting in the bustle. A vendor offers you a fig, its skin soft and slightly sticky, and you take a bite, savoring the burst of sweetness, the juice trickling down your chin data as you move through the market. You notice the ache in your legs from walking on uneven cobblestones, the stone's edges pressing into your sandals, the faint jolt with each step. It's another small reminder of life here: no cushioned sneakers, no smooth sidewalks, just the rough feel of the ground beneath you. You think of your modern self, complaining about a 5-minute walk to the store, the memory of a car ride flashing briefly, and you laugh quietly. Try surviving a day here, you imagine saying, the sound blending with the market's hum. And the thought brings a dry smile, the basket's weight shifting in your hand. The market is a sensory overload, but there's a rhythm to it, a flow that carries you along, the vendor's chant echoing faintly as you move. You barter for a small loaf of bread, its crust still warm from the oven, the heat seeping through. The cloth you wrap it in and tuck it into your basket, the yeasty scent mingling with the dust and sweat of the crowd. The vendor's hands are rough, his fingers stained with flour, and you notice the faint creak of his stall as he adjusts it. Back at the insula, you set your basket down and prepare a simple midday meal. You break off a piece of the bread, its crust crackling softly, the sound crisp in the quiet room, and pair it with a slice of cheese from the market, its texture firm and slightly crumbly under your knife, the blade scraping lightly. The cheese is sharp, almost tangy, and you chew slowly, noticing the flavor spreading across your tongue, the bread's warmth contrasting with the coolness of the cheese. You pour a cup of water from the amphora, its coolness a relief in the midday heat, the clay's surface slick with condensation. As you eat, you hear the distant clang of a blacksmith's hammer, the rhythmic sound blending with the chatter of neighbors, the faint squeak of a cartwheel turning nearby. The courtyard is quieter now, as some retreat from the sun, their shadows, stretching long across the ground, but the city's pulse remains steady, alive with the soft rustle of leaves and the occasional bark of a dog. You savor the meal, the bread's crust crunching faintly, and let the day's rhythm carry you, the faint taste of dust lingering in the air. One more breath, slow and deep. Feel the calm of this moment, the gentle weight of your cozy setup grounding. You, the memory of the market's scents fading into the background. You've fetched water, swept the floor, visited the market, and now you're eating a simple meal, each task a small thread in the fabric of this Roman day, the amphora's cool surface a constant companion. It's a world of effort, of dust and heat, and community, and you're part of it, moving through it with a quiet resilience, the faint hum of the city vibrating through the stones. The sun is sinking low now, painting the sky above ancient Rome with hues of orange and pink, casting a warm glow over the insula where you stand. The bustle of midday has softened, replaced by a quieter rhythm as the city settles into evening. You pause in the courtyard, your basket of market goods, bread, cheese, a few figs still resting by your side, its woven fibers catching the fading light. The air is cooler now, carrying the faint scent of wood smoke from nearby hearths, mingled with the earthy dust of the cobblestones and a distant hint of lavender from a neighbor's small garden, its flowers drooping slightly in the evening air. Your sandals feel worn from the day's errands, their leather straps slightly stiff against your feet, and you take a slow, deep breath, letting the weight of the day begin to slip away, the faint creak of the courtyard gate blending with the quiet. This is the evening, a time for preparing dinner, unwinding, sharing moments with those around you, and readying yourself for the night ahead. Let's pause for a moment. Breathe in and out, slow and steady. Feel the softness of your blanket or the gentle cradle of your pillow, grounding you in your cozy space. This story is your gentle retreat, a chance to linger in the soothing details of a Roman evening, the cool air brushing your memory. You're safe here, wrapped in the fading light and quiet sounds of this ancient world, and I'm right beside you, whispering softly as we go, my voice a soft thread in the evening hush. You step back into the small kitchen area of your insula, the stone hearth glowing faintly with embers from the morning's fire, its warmth radiating softly across the room. The task now is to prepare dinner, a simple meal that will nourish you and those you share this space with. You set your basket on a wooden table, its surface scarred from years of use, the wood's grain worn smooth in places, and begin to unpack. The loaf of bread you bought at the market is still warm, its crust crackling softly as you break it into pieces, the sound echoing faintly off the walls. You smile, thinking of your modern kitchen with its gleaming appliances and endless gadgets, microwaves humming, blenders whirring. No microwave here, no takeout delivery, just you, a few ingredients, and the glow of the hearth, its embers popping softly. Surviving without a pizza app. You imagine your friends teasing, their laughter a faint echo, and the thought brings a quiet chuckle, the bread's warmth seeping into your hands. You kneel by the hearth, adding a few sticks of dry wood from a pile in the corner, the wood's pine scent rising as you arrange it. The wood feels rough under your fingers, its bark flaking slightly, and as you blow gently on the embers, they flare to life, casting a warm, flickering light across the room, the shadows dancing on the ceiling. The soft crackle of the fire is comforting, a steady rhythm that blends with the distant murmur of voices from the courtyard, the faint rustle of a neighbor's footsteps outside. You place a clay pot over the flames, filled with lentils you soaked earlier in the day, the pot's surface warm against your palm. The water hisses as it heats, and you stir the pot with a wooden spoon, the scrape of wood against clay a familiar. Grounding sound, the steam rising in soft curls that carry the scent of earth and herbs. You add a pinch of salt and a sprig of dried rosemary, its sharp herbal scent rising with the steam, mingling with the smoke from the fire. The rosemary's leaves crumble slightly as you drop it in, and you notice the faint green stain-it leaves on your fingers. As the lentils simmer, you slice the cheese from the market, its texture firm and slightly crumbly under your knife, the blade scraping lightly against the clay cutting board. The cheese is sharp, almost tangy, and you set it aside, its scent filling the air. You add a few figs, their soft skins splitting slightly to reveal the sweet flesh inside, the juice staining your fingers with a sticky gloss. The meal is modest lentils, bread, cheese, and figs, but there's a quiet pride in assembling it, in knowing you've gathered these ingredients through your own efforts, the pot's heat warming your knees as you work. You think of your modern self, scrolling through a delivery app for something quick: sushi, pizza, a salad with a dozen toppings, and you smile wryly. No DoorDash in Rome. You muse, the image of a delivery scooter flashing briefly, and the contrast feels both amusing and humbling. The hearth's crackle a steady counterpoint. You adjust the pot, feeling the warmth rise, and let the kitchen's quiet rhythm settle over you. The faint scent of smoke lingering in your hair. Let's breathe again, slow and deep. Feel the calm of this moment, the gentle flicker of the hearth warming your space, the warmth seeping into your bones. You're here, in this Roman evening, surrounded by the scents of lentils and rosemary, the soft sounds of the fire, and the courtyard, the faint creak of the table as you lean on it. It's a simple world, but it's alive with small, tactile details, and you're part of it, moving through each task with care, the spoon's handle smooth in your grip. You carry the pot of lentils to the table, setting it on a woven mat to protect the wood, the mat's fibers rough against your fingers. The steam rises in soft curls, and you ladle portions into clay bowls, their surfaces cool against your hands, the rims chipped slightly from use. You call out softly to the others in your insula, perhaps family, perhaps neighbors who share this communal space, their voices a faint murmur in response. A woman named Livia, with a warm smile, joins you, her tunic slightly dusty from a day of weaving, the fabric catching the firelight. A younger man, Marcus, sets down a small bundle of firewood he's brought in, his hands smudged with soot, the wood clattering softly as he drops it. There's a quiet camaraderie here, a sense of shared effort that binds you together, the faint scent of his soot blending with the room's warmth. You pass around the bread and cheese, breaking off pieces with a soft tear, and the figs are shared. Their sweetness a small treat that brings soft smiles, the juice leaving faint stains on the table. As you eat, the conversation is gentle, unhurried. Livia talks about the cloth she's weaving, its threads dyed a deep red that's hard to come by, the dye's earthy scent lingering on her hands. Marcus mentions a cart that broke down in the street, his dry humor making you laugh as he describes the driver's exaggerated curses, the sound of his voice rising and falling like a song. You listen, chewing slowly, savoring the earthy taste of the lentils and the crusty bite of the bread, the cheese's tang spreading across your tongue. The fire crackles softly, its light dancing on the walls, and you notice how the room feels smaller, cozier, as the evening deepens, the shadows stretching long across the floor. You think of your modern evenings, maybe a TV glowing, a phone buzzing with notifications, the hum of a refrigerator in the background, and you smile at how different this is. No screens here, just the flicker of the fire and the warmth of voices, the faint creak of the stool as you shift. You imagine your friends' reactions. No Netflix, just talking. How do you survive? The thought brings a dry chuckle, and you shake your head, feeling the simplicity of this moment settle over you like a soft blanket, the bread's warmth lingering in your hands. There's a comfort in this routine, in the shared meal, the quiet. Laughter, the way the day's work fades into the background, the faint scent of rosemary a constant companion. Another breath, in and out. Let the calm of this evening wrap around you, soothing and steady, the fire's heat warming your face. Feel your cozy setup, your blanket, your pillow anchoring you as you drift through this story, the faint crackle of the hearth a lullaby. You're safe here in this ancient world, and I'm right here with you, guiding you gently through the night, my voice blending with the room's quiet hum. After dinner, you clear the table, rinsing the bowls with water from the amphoray you fetched earlier, the cool liquid slipping over your fingers, leaving tiny droplets that catch the firelight. You use a handful of sand to scrub the clay, the gritty texture rasping softly, a sound that echoes faintly in the room. You wince lightly, thinking of your modern dishwasher, its hum a distant memory, the sleek design a stark contrast to this rough method. Sand instead of soap? You imagine saying to yourself, the absurdity making you grin, the sand's coolness a shock against your skin. The task is repetitive, almost meditative, and you find a rhythm in it, the soft scrape of sand against clay blending with the crackle of the fire, the faint scent of damp earth rising from the bowl. With the kitchen tiddied, you turn to unwinding, letting the day's demands slip away. You step into the courtyard, where the air is cooler now, the sky a deep indigo dotted with the first stars, their light faint but steady. You sit on a wooden bench, its surface worn smooth by years of use, the wood creaking softly under your weight, and let your shoulders relax, the tension easing out like a slow sigh. The courtyard is nearly silent, save for the faint trickle of the fountain and the occasional rustle of leaves in the breeze, the sound a gentle wave against the night's quiet. You notice a neighbor lighting an oil lamp, its tiny flame flickering. Through a small window, casting a warm glow that dances on the stone walls, the scent of olive oil drifting over. The scent mixes with the cool night air, and you breathe it in, feeling the world quiet around you, the bench's coolness seeping through your tunic. You think of the aches from the day, the stiffness in your legs from walking on cobblestones, the faint soreness in your arms from carrying the amphora, the slight burn in your shoulders from sweeping. There's no hot shower to ease them, but you might rub a bit of olive oil mixed with mint into your shoulders later, a simple remedy that soothes the skin, its coolness a relief against the warmth. You chuckle softly, imagining your modern self, reaching for a bottle of ibuprofen instead, the plastic bottle, a vivid image in your mind. Herbs and oil. That's it? Your friends would say, their voices echoing with disbelief, and you smile at the thought, feeling a strange gratitude for the simplicity here, even if it's challenging. The night air brushing your cheeks as the evening deepens. You prepare for bed. You return to your room, the air now cool and slightly damp, a faint mist settling on the window's edge. You light a small oil lamp, its flame casting soft shadows on the mud brick walls, the light flickering across the rough texture. The lamp's clay holder is warm to the touch, its surface smooth under your fingers, and you set it carefully on the shelf, hearing the soft clink as it settles, the oil scent rising faintly. You unfold your woolen blanket, shaking it out with a soft rustle, the fibers catching the light, and smooth it over the straw mattress, feeling the straw shift beneath. The bed creaks as you sit, the sound a low hum, and you slip off your sandals, feeling the cool earth floor under your feet, its grit pressing into your soles. You change into a lighter tunic for sleep, its fabric softer, but still coarse compared to modern pajamas, the hem brushing your ankles as you move. One more breath, slow and deep. Feel the calm of this Roman evening, the gentle flicker of the lamp the quiet of the insula, the faint rustle of the blanket as you adjust it. You're winding down now, ready to let the day go, and your cozy set up your blanket. Your pillow holds you gently as you drift through this story, the lamp's glow a soft beacon. You're part of this world, its rhythms and routines, and it's carrying you toward rest, the faint scent of oil lingering in the air. You lie down, pulling the blanket over you, its weight familiar now, the wool brushing your chin. The lamp burns low, its flame a soft whisper of light, casting shadows that dance faintly on the ceiling. Outside, the city is quiet, the hum of voices replaced by the faint chirp of crickets and the rustle of leaves, the sound a gentle wave against the night. You feel the day's efforts in your body, but there's a satisfaction in it, a sense of having lived fully in this ancient world, the straw creaking softly beneath you. As you close your eyes, you think of how different this is from your modern. Nights no glowing screens, no hum of electronics, just the simplicity of a straw bed and a flickering lamp, the faint drip of water from the ceiling a distant lullaby. And yet, there's a peace here, a quiet that wraps around you like a lullaby, the night air cool against your face. The night has fully settled over ancient Rome now, wrapping your small room in a quiet, gentle embrace. You're lying on your straw mattress, the coarse woolen blanket pulled up to your chin. Its familiar weight both comforting and slightly scratchy, the fibers brushing your skin with each breath. The oil lamp on the shelf burns low. It's tiny, flame casting a soft, flickering glow across the mud brick walls, painting them with warm shadows that dance like whispers, the light catching on the rough plaster's edges. The air is cool now, carrying the faint scent of olive oil from the lamp, mingled with the earthy smell of the packed earth floor and a distant hint of wood smoke from a neighbor's dying hearth, the smoke curling faintly through the window. Outside, the insula is hushed, the courtyard silent save for the soft chirp of crickets and the occasional rustle of leaves in the cool evening breeze, the sound a gentle wave against the night. Your body feels heavy, the day's efforts waking. Working, sharing meals lingering in the faint ache of your arms, and the slight grit of dust still clinging to your skin, a fine layer that brushes off with a soft touch. But there's a peace here, a stillness that invites you to reflect, to let the day's moments settle like dust motes in the lamplight, the faint creak of the bed frame blending with your breathing. Let's pause for a moment. Breathe in slow and deep and let it out, feeling the softness of your blanket or the gentle cradle of your pillow. Wherever you are, the fabric's texture a soft anchor. This is your time, your quiet space, and this story is here to guide you gently toward rest, the faint warmth of your cozy setup wrapping around you. You're safe, wrapped in the fading warmth of this Roman night, and I'm right here with you, whispering softly as we look back on the day. My voice a soft thread in the night's quiet. Think back to this morning, when you first stirred on. That lumpy straw mattress, the cool air brushing your face as you opened your eyes to the dim light filtering through the linen-covered window, its fabric fluttering softly. You felt the roughness of the woolen blanket, heard the distant clatter of cartwheels on cobblestones, the faint jingle of a donkey's harness, and smelled the faint earthiness of the room, mixed with the scent of dried herbs tucked in a corner. It was a simple start, but it wasn't easy, not like flipping a switch for light or turning on a faucet for warm water, the memory of a hot shower, a distant dream. You combed your hair with a wooden comb, its teeth tugging gently, and splashed cold water from a clay basin onto your face, the chill waking you fully, the water's mineral scent filling your nose. Dressing in that coarse linen tunic, tying the creaky leather belt, slipping on worn sandals, it all took effort, a kind of deliberate care that feels so foreign to your modern self, the belt's weight a constant reminder. You smiled then, thinking of how your friends might react to a morning without coffee makers or hot showers, their voices echoing with disbelief, and that quiet chuckle carried you forward, the comb's cool wood still in your hand. Then came the midday, a whirlwind of tasks that pulled you into the heart of Rome's rhythm. You carried that heavy amphora to the fountain, feeling the weight in your arms, the cool water splashing against your hands, leaving tiny droplets. That caught the light. Sweeping the floor with a twig broom, you watched dust rise in small clouds, catching the sunlight and dancing briefly before settling, the broom's bristles rasping against a pebble. The market was a sensory flood: figs and cheese, the sharp tang of garlic, the dusty scent of grain sacks, and you bartered for bread, its crust warm in your hands, the vendor's rough fingers brushing yours. You felt the sun's warmth, the grit of dust on your skin, the ache in your legs from uneven cobblestones, the stone's edges pressing into your sandals. You thought of the herbal poultices that are Rome's answer to pain relief, the faint scent of mint a memory, and laughed softly, imagining your modern self complaining about a long grocery run, the hum of a car engine flashing briefly. The evening brought a softer pace, a chance to unwind. You prepared a simple meal: lentils simmering over the hearth, bread and cheese shared with Livia and Marcus, their voices weaving stories in the flickering firelight, the scent of rosemary rising with the steam. The courtyard grew quiet, the air cooling, carrying the scent of lavender and wood smoke, the flowers' faint perfume lingering. You scrubbed bowls with sand, lit the oil lamp, and smoothed your blanket over the mattress, each task a small ritual. That marked the end of the day, the sand's grit a constant texture. You felt the weight of those moments, the effort they demanded, but also their quiet beauty, the laughter, the shared figs, the way the city hushed as the stars appeared, their light faint but steady. It was a day full of small, tactile details, each one a thread in the fabric of this Roman life. The lamp's glow a soft companion. Let's breathe again, slow and deep. Feel the calm of this moment, the gentle flicker of the lamp, the softness of your cozy setup holding you, the blankets, edge brushing your cheek. You're safe here, drifting through this reflection, and the day's efforts are behind you now, fading like the last glow of the sun, the faint creak of the bed a lullaby. As you lie here, think about the hardships of this day, the peculiarities that make it so different from your own. Waking without the hum of electricity, washing with cold water, carrying every drop you drink. These are things your modern self might find daunting. The memory of a warm tap, a distant comfort. The dust that clings to everything. The aches that linger without a quick pill to ease them. The constant effort of tasks that feel so simple now, like turning on a tap or flipping a switch. These are the threads of this life. There's no instant coffee to jolt you awake, no car to speed you through errands, no screen to distract you from the quiet, just the raw feel of the world under your hands. You can almost hear your friends back home, wide-eyed, saying, "No Wi-Fi, no hot water. How do you even survive a day?" And you smile, because it's true, this world tests you in ways you're not used to. The straws rustle, a constant reminder. Yet, there's a strange beauty in it, isn't there? The rhythm of fetching water, the warmth of bread shared with neighbors, the flicker of a lamp that lights your way to sleep. These moments carry a quiet strength. You feel it in the weight of the amphora, the scratch of the broom, the softness of a fig against your lips, the faint warmth of the hearth against your knees. There's a connection here to the people around you, to the city that hums with life, to the earth itself, its scent rising with each step. You think of Livia's smile as she spoke of her weaving, Marcus's dry humor about the broken cart, the children's laughter in the courtyard, their voices a faint echo. These are the threads that hold this world together, and you are part of it today, even if just for a moment. The lamps light a soft glow on your face. Let's pause and breathe once more, in and out, letting the tension slip away, the air cool against your skin. Feel the softness of your blanket, the gentle weight of your pillow, grounding you as you drift closer to sleep, the faint scent of oil lingering. This story is your lullaby, a gentle bridge between Rome and your cozy space, and I'm here, guiding you softly toward rest, my voice a whisper in the night. Now, let yourself feel a quiet gratitude for the world you know. The hot showers that wait for you, the electric lights that brighten with a flick, the medicines that ease an ache in moments, their plastic bottles of vivid memory, the coffee that brews at the push of a button, the car that carries you through. The day, the screens that connect you to a world far beyond your own. These are small miracles, aren't they? Things you might not think about until you step into a place like this, where every task demands your hands, your time, your care. The straw creaking softly beneath you. You don't need to dwell on it. Just let the thoughts settle lightly, like a leaf on a stream, and feel a soft appreciation for the ease of your modern life. The hum of a fan, a distant echo data as you lie here, the straw mattress shifting slightly. Beneath you, its rustle a soft song. Let your body relax fully. Feel the weight of the blanket, the coolness of the air, the faint glow of the lamp fading as your eyes grow heavy, the shadows stretching long. The city outside is quiet now. Its sounds soften to a whisper crickets, a distant dog's bark, the rustle of leaves, the faint drip of water from the fountain. Your breath is slow, steady, matching the rhythm of this ancient world, the lamps. Flame a dying ember. You've lived a day in Rome, felt its challenges, its quirks, its small joys, the weight of the amphora, still a memory in your arms. You've carried water, swept dust, shared bread, and now you're here, ready to let it all go. The night air brushing your face, one more breath, slow and deep. Let the calm of this moment wrap around you, soothing and gentle, the faint chirp of crickets a lullaby. You're safe, held by the quiet of this Roman night, by the softness of your own cozy space. The blankets edge a soft caress. The day is done, and sleep is calling, soft and inviting, the lamp's glow fading to black. Let your eyes close, let your thoughts drift, and let this ancient world fade into a gentle dream, the rustle of leaves carrying you away. The night has fully settled over your small room in ancient Rome, wrapping you in a quiet, gentle stillness. You're lying on your straw mattress, the coarse woolen blanket tucked around you, its familiar weight a soft anchor in the darkness, the fibers brushing your chin with each breath. The oil lamp on the shelf has burned down to a faint flicker, its tiny flame casting the last whispers of light across the mud brick walls, the shadows dancing softly on the rough plaster. The air is cool now, carrying the faint scent of olive. Oil and the earthy smell of the packed earth floor, mingled with a distant hint of wood smoke from a neighbor's hearth, the smoke curling faintly through the window. Outside, the insula is hushed, the courtyard silent save for the soft chirp of crickets and the occasional rustle of leaves in the night breeze, the sound a gentle wave against the quiet. Your body feels heavy, the day's efforts waking, working. Sharing meals lingering in the gentle ache of your arms and the slight grit of dust still clinging to your skin, a fine layer that brushes off with a soft touch. You're here, safe in this moment, ready to let the ancient world fade into a soothing dream, the faint creak of the bed frame blending with your breathing. Let's take one last slow breath together, in and out, feeling the softness of your blanket or the gentle cradle of your pillow. Wherever you are, the fabric's texture a warm embrace. This journey through a day in ancient Rome has been yours, a quiet escape into a world of dust and firelight, of simple tasks and shared moments, the scent of rosemary a lingering memory. I'm so grateful you've joined me, dear friend, for this sleepy walk through history, and I'm right here with you, whispering softly as we say goodnight. My voice a soft thread in the night's hush. What a day it's been, hasn't it? You woke to the cool morning air, the creak of your straw bed, the distant clatter of cartwheels on cobblestones, the faint jingle of a donkey's harness. You splashed cold water on your face, tied your worn leather belt, and ate a simple porridge. Flavored with a touch of honey, its warmth spreading through you. The midday pulled you into the bustle of Rome fetching water from the fountain, its coolness splashing your hands, sweeping dust with a twig broom, the rasp of its bristles a steady sound, bartering for bread and figs in the crowded market, the vendor's rough hands brushing yours. You felt the sun's warmth, the grit of dust on your skin, the ache in your legs from uneven cobblestones, the stone's edges pressing into your sandals. And then the evening, with its softer rhythm cooking lentils over a crackling hearth. The steam rising with rosemary's scent, sharing stories with Livia and Marcus, their voices a warm echo, lighting the oil lamp as the stars appeared, their light faint but steady. Each moment was small, ordinary, yet filled with a kind of quiet magic, a rhythm that carried you through a day so different from your own. The faint taste of figs lingering on your lips as you lie here, the blanket soft against your skin. Think of how this day tested you in ways you might not have expected. No running water, no electric lights, no quick fixes for aches or ailments, just your hands, your patience, and the community around you, the weight of the amphora a constant memory. You carried heavy amphory, scrubbed with sand instead of soap, the grit rasping against the clay, and lived by the light of a flickering lamp. Its oil sent a soft companion. You smiled, imagining your modern friends' reactions. No coffee, no Wi-Fi, no comfy mattresses, and their wide-eyed question, how do you survive a day like that? The thought brings a dry chuckle, their voices echoing faintly, and you shake your head, because it's true this world tests you, the straws. Rustle a reminder of its simplicity, but you did survive, didn't you? You moved through this world with a quiet strength, finding beauty in its simplicity, in the shared bread, the laughter, the way the city hushed at night, the crickets chirp a lullaby. I'm here with you, feeling that journey, understanding. The effort it took, the cool water on your hands, the warmth of the hearth, the weight of the day in your bones. It wasn't easy, but there's a grace in it, a resilience that shines through the dust and the quiet, the faint glow of the lamp a beacon. Let's breathe again, slow and deep, letting the calm of this moment wrap around you like a warm embrace. The air cool against your face. Feel your cozy setup, your blanket, your pillow holding you gently as you drift closer to sleep, the faint scent of oil lingering. You're safe here, in this quiet space, and the day's challenges are behind. You now, fading like the lamp's last glow, the shadows stretching long. I want to thank you, truly, for spending this time with me, for letting me guide you through the streets and sounds of ancient Rome, the splash of the fountain, the hum of the market, the crackle of the fire. Your presence here, listening, breathing, drifting along, means so much, a shared moment in this ancient night. If you've enjoyed this journey, and only if you feel like it, you might consider liking or subscribing to join us for more sleepy adventures through history, the faint rustle of leaves a promise of more to come. But there's no rush, no pressure, just you, here, in this gentle moment, ready to rest. The courtyard's quiet, a soft embrace. As you close your eyes, let the sounds of Rome linger softly in your mind, the chirp of crickets, the faint rustle of leaves, the distant trickle of the courtyard fountain, its water a gentle murmur. Imagine the cool night air brushing your face, the flicker of the lamp fading to darkness, the weight of the blanket grounding you, its woolen texture a soft caress. You're drifting now, carried by the quiet rhythm of this ancient world, toward a place of peace and rest, the faint creak of the bed a lullaby. Let your thoughts soften, let the day slip away, the taste of bread and figs fading, and let sleep come gently, like a friend, the night's hush wrapping you close. Good night, dear friend. May your dreams be soft and sweet, filled with the warmth of shared meals and the hush of a city at rest, the scent of lavender, a gentle companion. Sleep well and know that you've lived a day in Rome, felt its heart, and found its quiet beauty, the stars light, a distant guide. If you like, imagine the sound of crickets outside your window, their soft chirping carrying you deeper into sleep, or the gentle whisper of a breeze, lulling you into a dream, its coolness brushing your skin. Rest now, and good night. The night's quiet, a soft embrace, until dawn. You awaken gently, your body heavy with the warmth of sleep, nestled on a papyrus pallet, the bundled reeds crinkling faintly beneath you, their dry, earthy scent rising in the warm, humid air. A thin linen sheet draped over you, slightly coarse. Clinging to your skin with a gentle, grounding weight, the small chamber around you bathed in the soft, golden light of dawn seeping through a woven reed curtain, its threads worn and frayed, the sandstone walls smooth and cool. Etched with faded hieroglyphs of gods and harvests, the packed earth floor gritty under your bare feet as you sit up, tiny grains of sand pressing into your soles, your chest rising and falling with slow, steady breaths, the air thick with the scent of dust and myrrh, a lingering trace of last night's incense wrapping you in a heavy, calming embrace, the distant murmur of the Nile lapping against muddy banks, blending with the lazy croak of a frog. The soft rustle of palm fronds in the morning breeze brushing against the temple's outer walls, your linen tunic stiff and damp from the night's humidity, scratching lightly against your collarbone as you stretch, your joints creaking like the wooden stool in the corner. The weight of a faience scarab amulet cool against your chest, its smooth, glazed surface a quiet comfort meant to guard your spirit, to balance your mind as you tend to others, stepping toward the reed curtain, its frayed edges brushing your fingers, pushing it aside with a gentle rustle, the temple courtyard spreading before you, bathed in rosy dawn light, low mud brick walls cracked from years of sun encircling a small altar adorned with wilted lotus flowers, their sweet, heavy scent mingling with the dusty air. Beyond the walls the village stirring, women carrying clay jars to the river with slow, steady steps, children laughing as they chase a stray goose, its wings flapping faintly, an ox bellowing. In the fields, the sand beneath your reed sandals warm and fine, slipping between your toes, the world alive yet orderly, unchanging. Soothing your mind like a lullaby, walking to a stone basin near the altar, its surface worn smooth by countless hands, the water still and reflective of the pale sky, dipping your hands into its coolness, the chill shocking your skin, splashing. Your face, droplets trickling down your cheeks, pooling at your chin, their mineral tang brushing your lips, rubbing your face with a rough linen scrap. Musing about a future with mirrors, hot showers, foaming soaps, a faint smile at the distant thought, reaching for a wooden comb, its teeth smooth from use, your hair tangled from sleep, working the comb through slowly, each stroke a soft tug. The motion repetitive and lulling, the scent of your hair oily, mixed with temple dust, braiding it loosely, fingers weaving strands into a plait resting against your neck, the ritual calming and unchanging, pulling on a fresh linen tunic from a woven basket, stiff and yellowed, woven by village women, heavy and coarse, brushing your knees, chuckling at a future with soft, machine-spun clothes, slipping on reed sandals, their soles creaking as you step, fastening the amulet, its weight grounding. Stepping outside, the courtyard sand warmer now, crunching softly underfoot, pausing by the altar, sweeping ash with a reed brush, its bristles whispering against the stone. The motion deliberate and slow, losing yourself in its rhythm, breakfast waiting in an alcove, sitting cross-legged on a woven mat, its fibers rough against your legs, tearing emmer flatbread, chewy and earthy, chewing slowly, its texture dense, and sticking to your teeth, a bowl of sticky dates bursting with sweetness, their pits smooth between your fingers, sipping weak barley beer from a clay cup, sour and fizzing, cool against your lips, watching the Nile glint in the distance, a fisherman casting his net with slow, rhythmic motions, children kicking up dust as they play, a woman balancing a clay jar on her shoulder, her steps steady, the air carrying the scent of baking bread, mingled with the tang of drying fish, priest chants humming softly, the creak of a wooden cart, the rustle of palm fronds, the world predictable and monotonous, brushing crumbs from your tunic, rinsing your hands in a small clay bowl, the water cool and smooth, drying them on the coarse fabric, walking to the inner chamber, pushing aside a frayed linen curtain, the fabric soft and heavy, stepping inside where the air is cooler, the stone walls keeping the heat at bay, dried herbs, myrrh, coriander, lotus root stacked neatly on a shelf, an oil lamp flickering, casting lazy shadows, the floor smooth from years of footsteps, selecting faded lotus petals, their gray color crumbling under your fingers, releasing a floral scent, placing them in a mortar, grinding slowly with a cool, heavy pestle, the motion rhythmic and meditative, the soft scrape blending with distant chants in the Nile's murmur. Adding a pinch of natron, its crystals glinting in the dim light, grinding to a fine powder, letting your mind drift to villagers with heavy minds, restless dreams, offering them this paste mixed with honey, chanting to Sekhmet, listening to their worries with a soft voice. Your presence steady, not grand work, but quiet and ordinary, its ordinariness comforting, lulling, imagining a future where minds are healed with strange tools, books, smiling faintly at the gentle jest, finishing the paste, scraping it into a plain clay jar, sealing it with linen and reed cord, placing it on the shelf alongside other remedies. The task soothing with its promise of repetition, stepping back into the courtyard, the sun bright now, its heat pressing against your skin, warming the amulet, the village sounds louder clattering pots, humming voices, a goat's bleat seeing, a priest sweep the temple steps, his broom whispering, nodding to him, his face unchanging, lingering to feel the sand's warmth, the tunic's weight, the air's thickness, the morning yours, filled with small tasks blending into one another. Your work as steady as the Nile, breathing deeply, the world holding you, its rhythms carrying you forward, the sun climbing higher, the air growing thick and heavy with the scent of herbs and stone, your hands dusted with lotus powder, morning. Tasks done, the day stretching ahead with more chores, village hum, and healing, stepping out of the chamber again, the frayed curtain brushing your arm, the courtyard sand-hot beneath your sandals. The sun nearly overhead, its light casting sharp shadows, the air shimmering over mud brick walls, the smells of dust, wilting lotus, roasting fish filling the air, the Nile's murmur drowned by midday sounds clattering pots, women's chatter. A goat's bleat closing your eyes for a moment, breathing slowly to steady yourself, fetching water as a chore as old as the river, picking up a heavy clay jar, unglazed and cool, slinging it over your shoulder, walking to the Nile, sandals, sinking into the warm, fine sand, the path worn smooth by countless feet. Reeds rustling against your arms, their green tips brushing your skin, the sun beating down on your neck, your tunic sticking to your back with sweat, smiling faintly at a future with water from metal pipes, kneeling at the riverbank, the Nile, sparkling, its waters green and sluggish, the mud cool and slick beneath your knees, dipping the jar into the water, the stream rushing in with a gentle gurgle, blending with a frog's croak, a child's splash nearby, the water's earthy smell rising, tiny fish darting through the ripples, lifting the jar with effort, its clay slick and cold against your shoulder, resting it there as you rise, returning. To the temple with slow, deliberate steps, the jar sloshing faintly, pouring the water into a basin back in the courtyard, the stream glinting in the sunlight, a soft patter as it fills, rinsing your hands. The basin's clay smooth under your fingers, chuckling at the thought of modern sinks and faucets, the slowness of the task wrapping you in peace, breathing deeply, tension slipping away, turning to grind grain for the day, sitting on a woven mat in the shade of a palm tree, its fronds casting dappled shadows across your legs, a rough stone quern before you, flecked with bits of emmer wheat, pouring kernels into the hollow, grinding with a slow push and pull, the stone heavy in your hands, the grain crunching under pressure, turning to flour with a hypnotic rhythm, the sound blending with the village hum singing women, creaking. Carts, a barking dog in the distance, flour dusting your fingers, gritty and nutty, sweat beading on your forehead, wiping it with a coarse linen cloth, imagining machines grinding grain in a future world, bread wrapped in soft packages, a dry smile fading as the quern's rhythm pulls you deeper, pausing to stretch, your back stiff from the effort. Glancing at a young priest sweeping the steps nearby, nodding to him. Merit sorting herbs at a table, her tunic stained green from the work. Hot today, she says in a quiet voice. You murmur agreement, joining her to crush coriander seeds. Their sharp scent rising, adding myrrh resin, its earthy aroma blending, grinding to a thick paste with a steady hand, the motion soothing like a dance done 1,000 times, smiling at the thought of modern healers with their quick tools, Tuya. Approaching with a worried face, speaking of sleepless nights and restless thoughts. Listening softly as she describes her dreams, offering her the lotus paste with honey. Take this at dusk. Pray to Sekhmet, you say, watching her go with the jar clutched in her hands, feeling her trust in your simple remedies, noticing a dull ache in your shoulder, rubbing sesame oil into it, its nutty scent soothing the stiffness, recommending natron poultices and chamomile tea to others who pass by. The village humming around you, laundry slapping against rocks at the river, children's laughter sharp but distant, a priest's drone from within the temple, seeing an ox led through the fields by a farmer, women weaving baskets with steady hands, the community's pulse grounding you in its rhythm, standing to brush sand from your tunic, walking to a low wall to rest, the sun bleaching the world gold, its heat stinging your face, sweat trickling down your neck, the Nile glittering in the distance, a heron standing still as a statue, breathing deeply, your mind drifting to the tasks ahead, returning to sweep the courtyard sand again, the broom light and worn, shifting small piles with a meditative pace, imagining modern cleaning machines with a faint jest that fades, pausing to see Merit inscribe a scroll at her table, the god's love order, she says, nodding in agreement, feeling the temple's balance in the air, the midday full of tasks blending into one another, your work steady and predictable, breathing deeply once more, the sun dipping low in the sky, its light softening to a warm ember, the air cooling slightly, evening settling over the temple, your sandals pressing into the warm sand, the amulet cool against your chest, your tunic damp with the day's sweat, preparing dinner in a small alcove, the clay oven's embers glowing faintly, kneeling on the gritty sand, adding dry palm fronds to the fire, their crackling filling the air, fanning the flames with a reed mat, the heat warming your face, the embers pulsing red, arranging emmer bread on a stone, lentils in a clay pot, dried fish on a plate, stirring the lentils with a wooden spoon, their earthy scent rising, splashing water into the pot, the sound soft, sprinkling coriander seeds, the pot warming under your hands, tearing the bread, its crust cracking, dense and chewy. Placing the fish on the stone, its sizzle rising, turning it slowly, the salty smell blending with the lentils, smiling at the thought of modern ovens, the sizzle a steady song in your ears, breathing deeply, the world quieting around you, the Nile's murmur soft and distant, crickets beginning to chirp, the village calming as the sun sets, a heron gliding silently overhead, the air growing lighter. Merit joining you to wipe the low table with a damp cloth. Long day, she says, nodding in response. Tahotep arriving with a jug of barley beer, the clay clinking as he sets it down, serving the lentils, their steam rising, the bread and Fish arranged neatly, eating slowly, the bread chewy, the lentils bitter, the fish tender, the beer sour on your tongue, the flavors grounding you. Talking softly with Merit about chamomile tea, Tahotep about a prayer to Thoth, you sharing Tuya's use of the paste, the conversation unhurried and gentle, chuckling at the idea of modern gatherings with electric lights, clearing the bowls. With sand to scrub them clean, rinsing with a splash of water, Merit sweeping the mat. Tahotep banking the embers with a stick, the tasks repetitive and soothing, breathing slowly, winding down in the inner chamber, pushing the frayed curtain aside, the lamp flickering with olive oil, its rich scent filling the air cool. Against your skin, sitting on a low stool, unrolling a papyrus scroll, inscribing remedies with a reed pen, the ink acrid as it dries, the scratching sound steady. Dipping the pen in the ink pot, the task tedious and lulling, smiling at the thought of future glowing boxes, pausing to rub sesame oil into your stiff fingers, recommending natron to ease the ache. The temple quiet now, only the faint chirp of crickets. Merit arranging herbs on the shelf. Tahotep polishing a statue of Thoth with a cloth. Finishing the scroll, tying it with a thin cord, placing it neatly on the shelf, lighting a clay lamp with a taper, its flame steady, carrying it to your sleeping chamber, the walls cool to the touch, setting it on a small table, shadows dancing. On the sandstone, shaking out your pallet's sheet, the reeds crinkling beneath, changing into a lighter cloth, soft and worn from use, keeping the amulet around your neck. Smiling at the thought of modern beds with springs, arranging the sheet carefully, fluffing a reed-stuffed cushion with your hands, lying down, the pallet molding to your shape, the lamp's light dimming, the Nile's murmur faint, the village. Silent, breathing steadily, reflecting on the day grinding herbs, speaking with Tuya. Working with Merit grateful for the simplicity, imagining future sleep devices with a fading thought, the lamp a tiny glow in the corner, closing your eyes, the pallet firm beneath you, the sheet light over your body, the amulet anchoring your spirit, the world quiet around you, sleep drawing near. Your day is a healer unfolding predictably, waking to the gritty earth, washing your face with cool water, dressing in the coarse tunic, eating bread and dates. Fetching water from the Nile, grinding grain with the quern, preparing remedies in the chamber, speaking softly to Tuya, sharing dinner with Merit and Tahotep, inscribing scrolls by lamplight, each moment ordinary, a lullaby in its repetition. The midday's tasks a quiet dance of sweeping and sorting. The evening slowing with cooking and conversation, now resting on the pallet, reflecting with empathy on the long days, the aching shoulders, the simple remedies, feeling for Tuya's sleeplessness, honoring the village's resilience through heat and toil, thinking of this time's peculiarities, stone tools, papyrus scrolls, oil lamps smiling at a future with pipes bringing water, quick bread from machines, advanced healers with their knowledge, gratitude blooming for your own soft bed, touch-lit lights, instant foods, modern healers with their ease, a lotus-like calm settling over you, your body growing heavier, the sheet feeling lighter, the lamp's flame fading to a mere flicker, the Nile whispering beyond the walls. Crickets steady in their song, the village wrapped in silence, your mind drifting to the cool water, the chewy bread, the scratching pen, Merit's quiet voice, a sense of pride in your role, fading into stillness, breathing deeply your chest. Rising and falling, the air slipping out in a soft sigh, lying in your own place, safe and warm, the pallet holding you, the darkness soothing your eyes. The Nile flowing endlessly, stars twinkling above, part of the ancient cycle, your eyes growing heavy, your breath a mere whisper, the amulet a steady weight, tomorrow a distant thought, sleep's arms opening wide, sinking softly into its embrace. Carried by the Nile's gentle current, the stars' quiet hum, the temple's ancient rhythm, the the pallet silent beneath you, the sheets soft against your skin, the lamp extinguished, darkness velvety and deep, the Nile sighing in the distance. Crickets singing a lullaby, the amulet grounding your spirit. Your breathing deepening, the day's journey walked through sand and stone, the Nile heard in every ripple, balance lived in every task, grateful for the chance to share this with you. Your heart resting easy, a restful night wished upon you. Dreams like lotus petals drifting on the water, stars watching over you, God's whispering blessings, safe in the night's gentle embrace, enjoying this quiet moment, perhaps considering subscribing to hear more. No rush, space waiting for you. To return, the chamber dark and cool, palm fronds whispering outside. The Nile's heartbeat steady, the sheet light as a breeze, the pallet still beneath you, the amulet heavy with meaning. Your breathing full and slow, the day slipping away, the world a soft hum, the come staying with you, stars soft above, peace. Yours to hold, your body heavy with rest, eyes closing gently, breath slowing to a whisper, sleep warm and welcoming, taking you in its gentle tide. Holding you close, good night, dear listener, good night, sweet dreams. As the morning light begins to filter through the reed curtain once more, the pallet crinkling faintly, the sheet clinging to your skin, the air thick with myrrh, the Nile's murmur a constant companion, the frog croaking lazily, the palm fronds rustling, the tunic scratching as you move, the amulet cooling against your chest, stepping into the courtyard, the sand warm underfoot, the altar's lotus scent heavy, the village stirring with women and children, the sand slipping between your toes, the basin's water cool, droplets trickling down your face, the comb tugging through your hair, the braid forming slowly, the tunic coarse against your knees, the sandals creaking, the amulet grounding, sweeping the altar with a reed brush, bristles whispering, the mat rough beneath you, bread chewing in your mouth, dates sweet on your tongue, beer sour in the cup, the Nile glinting, the fisherman casting, children dusting the air, the woman balancing her jar, bread baking in the distance, fish drying on the banks, chants humming, carts creaking, fronds rustling, crumbs brushing from your hands, rinsing in the clay bowl, the chamber cooling, herbs scenting the air, lamp flickering, petals crumbling, mortar scraping, natron glinting, villagers dreaming, paste mixing, sekhmet chanting, work lulling, future smiling, jar sealing, shelf neatening, courtyard heating, priest nodding, sand warming, tasks endless, sun climbing, air thickening, powder dusting, curtain swaying, sand burning, Nile sparkling, jar heavy, mud slick, water gurgling, fish darting, basin streaming, quern crunching, flower dusting, shade cooling, village singing, priest sweeping, merit sorting, tuya worrying, coriander popping, myrrh blending, paste forming, trust building, oil soothing, laundry slapping, ox plodding, women weaving, heron stilling, broom whispering, scroll scratching, order holding, midday humming, evening, softening, amber glowing, oven crackling, lentils simmering, bread cracking, fish sizzling, beer fizzing, voices murmuring, bowls rinsing, mats sweeping, embers fading, chamber dimming, lamp flickering, ink drying, oil rubbing, herbs waiting, statue shining, scroll tying, lamp lighting, sheet shaking, cloth changing, reeds crinkling, cushion fluffing, darkness deepening, Nile sighing, crickets chanting, stars watching, God's whispering, amulet, anchoring, day unfolding, waking calming, washing chilling, eating chewing, fetching waiting, grinding crunching, tending trusting, sharing warming, inscribing scratching, hardships weighing, empathy panging, resilience honoring, peculiarities. Smiling, gratitude blooming, body sinking, sheet softening, lamp fading, Nile whispering, crickets lulling, village sleeping, moments drifting, pride fading, breath slowing, play safing, darkness soothing, cycle endlessing, eyes closing, sleep opening, Nile carrying, stars humming, gratitude hearting, night resting, dreams lotusing, safety embracing, space waiting, palm sighing, Nile beating, sheet lighting, palette stilling, amulet heavying, day going, world humming, come staying, peace yours, sleep warming, good night sweeting, dreams drifting, temple quieting, sand warming, Nile fading, amulet settling, darkness holding, sleep arriving, gentle, endless, yours, the morning glowing, the palette crinkling, the sheet clinging, the air murring, the Nile murmuring, the frog croaking, the fronds rustling, the tunic scratching, the amulet cooling, the courtyard sanding, the altar lotusing, the village stirring, the sand slipping, the basin cooling, the droplets trickling, the comb tugging, the braid forming, the tunic coursing, the sandals creaking, the amulet grounding, the altar sweeping, the bristles whispering, the mat roughing, the bread chewing, the dates sweeting, the beer souring, the Nile glinting, the fisherman casting, the children dusting, the woman balancing, the bread baking, the fish drying, the chants humming, the carts creaking, the fronds rustling, the crumbs brushing, the hands rinsing, the chamber cooling, the herbs scenting, the lamp flickering, the petals crumbling, the mortar scraping, the natron glinting, the villagers dreaming, the paste mixing, the sekhmet chanting, the work lulling, the future smiling, the jar sealing, the shelf neatening, the courtyard heating, the priest nodding, the sand warming, the tasks endlessing, the sun climbing, the air thickening, the powder dusting, the curtain swaying, the sand burning, the Nile sparkling, the jar heavying, the mud slicking, the water gurgling, the fish darting, the basin streaming, the quern crunching, the flour dusting, the shade cooling, the village singing, the priest sweeping, the merit sorting, the tuya worrying, the coriander popping, the myrrh blending, the paste forming, the trust building, the oil soothing, the laundry slapping, the ox plodding, the women weaving, the heron stilling, the broom whispering, the scroll scratching, the order holding, the midday humming, the evening softening, the amber glowing, the oven crackling, the lentils simmering, the bread cracking, the fish sizzling, the beer fizzing, the voices murmuring, the bowls rinsing, the mat sweeping, the embers fading, the chamber dimming, the lamp flickering, the ink drying, the oil rubbing, the herbs waiting, the statue shining, the scroll tying, the lamp lighting, the sheet shaking, the cloth changing, the reeds crinkling, the cushion fluffing, the darkness deepening, the Nile sighing, the crickets chanting, the stars watching, the gods whispering, the amulet anchoring, the day unfolding, the waking calming, the washing chilling, the eating chewing, the fetching waiting, the grinding crunching, the tending trusting, the sharing warming, the inscribing scratching, the hardships weighing, the empathy panging, the resilience honoring, the peculiarities smiling, the gratitude blooming, the body sinking, the sheet softening, the lamp fading, the Nile whispering, the crickets lulling, the village sleeping, the moments drifting, the pride fading, the breath slowing, the play safing, the darkness soothing, the cycle endlessing, the eyes closing, the sleep opening, the Nile carrying, the stars humming, the gratitude hearting, the night resting, the dreams lotusing, the safety embracing, the space waiting, the palm sighing, the Nile beating, the sheet lighting, the palate stilling, the amulet heavying, the day going, the world humming, the calm staying, the peace yours, the sleep warming, the good night sweeting, the dreams drifting, the temple quieting, the sand warming, the Nile fading, the amulet settling, the darkness holding, the sleep arriving, gentle, endless, yours, the morning glowing, the palate crinkling, the sheet clinging, the air murring, the Nile murmuring, the frog croaking, the fronds rustling, the tunic scratching, the amulet cooling, the courtyard sanding, the altar lotusing, the village stirring, the sand slipping, the basin cooling, the droplets trickling, the comb tugging, the braid forming, the tunic coursing, the sandals creaking, the amulet grounding, the altar sweeping, the bristles whispering, the mat roughing, the bread chewing, the dates sweeting, the beer souring, the Nile glinting, the fisherman casting, the children dusting, the woman balancing, the bread baking, the fish drying, the chants humming, the carts creaking, the fronds rustling, the crumbs brushing, the hands rinsing, the chamber cooling, the herbs scenting, the lamp flickering, the petals crumbling, the mortar scraping, the natron glinting, the villagers dreaming, the paste mixing, the sekhmet chanting, the work lulling, the future smiling, the jar sealing, the shelf neatening, the courtyard heating, the priest nodding, the sand warming, the tasks endlessing, the sun climbing, the air thickening, the powder dusting, the curtain swaying, the sand burning, the Nile sparkling, the jar heavying, the mud slicking, the water gurgling, the fish darting, the basin streaming, the quern crunching, the flour dusting, the shade cooling, the village singing, the priest sweeping, the merit sorting, the tuya worrying, the coriander popping, the myrrh blending, the paste forming, the trust building, the oil soothing, the laundry slapping, the ox plodding, the women weaving, the heron stilling, the broom whispering, the scroll scratching, the order holding, the midday humming, the evening softening, the amber glowing, the oven crackling, the lentils simmering, the bread cracking, the fish sizzling, the beer fizzing, the voices murmuring, the bowls rinsing, the mats sweeping, the embers fading, the chamber dimming, the lamp flickering, the ink drying, the oil rubbing, the herbs waiting, the statue shining, the scroll tying, the lamp lighting, the sheet shaking, the cloth changing, the reeds crinkling, the cushion fluffing, the darkness deepening, the Nile sighing, the crickets chanting, the stars watching, the gods whispering, the amulet anchoring, the day unfolding, the waking calming, the washing chilling, the eating chewing, the fetching waiting, the grinding crunching, the tending trusting, the sharing warming, the inscribing scratching, the hardships weighing, the empathy panging, the resilience honoring, the peculiarities smiling, the gratitude blooming, the body sinking, the sheet softening, the lamp fading, the Nile whispering, the crickets lulling, the village sleeping, the moments drifting, the pride fading, the breath slowing, the play safing, the darkness soothing, the cycle endlessing, the eyes closing, the sleep opening, the Nile carrying, the stars humming, the gratitude hearting, the night resting, the dreams lotusing, the safety embracing, the space waiting, the palm sighing, the Nile beating, the sheet lighting, the palate stilling, the amulet heavying, the day going, the world humming, the calm staying, the peace yours, the sleep warming, the good night sweeting, the dreams drifting, the temple quieting, the sand warming, the Nile fading, the amulet settling, the darkness holding, the sleep arriving, gentle, endless, yours, the morning glowing, the palate crinkling, the sheet clinging, the air murring, the Nile murmuring, the frog croaking, the fronds rustling, the tunic scratching, the amulet cooling, the courtyard sanding, the altar lotusing, the village stirring, the sand slipping, the basin cooling, the droplets trickling, the comb tugging, the braid forming, the tunic coursing, the sandals creaking, the amulet grounding, the altar sweeping, the bristles whispering, the mat roughing, the bread chewing, the dates sweeting, the beer souring, the Nile glinting, the fisherman casting, the children dusting, the woman balancing, the bread baking, the fish drying, the chants humming, the carts creaking, the fronds rustling, the crumbs brushing, the hands rinsing, the chamber cooling, the herbs scenting, the lamp flickering, the petals crumbling, the mortar scraping, the natron glinting, the villagers dreaming, the paste mixing, the sekhmet chanting, the work lulling, the future smiling, the jar sealing, the shelf neatening, the courtyard heating, the priest nodding, the sand warming, the tasks endlessing, the sun climbing, the air thickening, the powder dusting, the curtain swaying, the sand burning, the Nile sparkling, the jar heavying, the mud slicking, the water gurgling, the fish darting, the basin streaming, the quern crunching, the flour dusting, the shade cooling, the village singing, the priest sweeping, the merit sorting, the tuya worrying, the coriander popping, the myrrh blending, the paste forming, the trust building, the oil soothing, the laundry slapping, the ox plodding, the women weaving, the heron stilling, the broom whispering, the scroll scratching, the order holding, the midday humming, the evening softening, the amber glowing, the oven crackling, the lentils simmering, the bread cracking, the fish sizzling, the beer fizzing, the voices murmuring, the bowls rinsing, the mat sweeping, the embers fading, the chamber dimming, the lamp flickering, the ink drying, the oil rubbing, the herbs waiting, the statue shining, the scroll tying, the lamp lighting, the sheet shaking, the cloth changing, the reeds crinkling, the cushion fluffing, the darkness deepening, the Nile sighing, the crickets chanting, the stars watching, the gods whispering, the amulet anchoring, the day unfolding, the waking calming, the washing chilling, the eating chewing, the fetching waiting, the grinding crunching, the tending trusting, the sharing warming, the inscribing scratching, the hardships weighing, the empathy panging, the resilience honoring, the peculiarities smiling, the gratitude blooming, the body sinking, the sheet softening, the lamp fading, the Nile whispering, the crickets lulling, the village sleeping, the moments drifting, the pride fading, the breath slowing, the play safing, the darkness soothing, the cycle endlessing, the eyes closing, the sleep opening, the Nile carrying, the stars humming, the gratitude hearting, the night resting, the dreams lotusing, the safety embracing, the space waiting, the palm sighing, the Nile beating, the sheet lighting, the palette stilling, the amulet heavying, the day going, the world humming, the calm staying, the peace years, the sleep warming, the good night sweeting, the dreams drifting, the temple quieting, the sand warming, the Nile fading, the amulet settling, the darkness holding, the sleep arriving, gentle, endless, yours, the morning glowing, the palette crinkling, the sheet clinging, the air murring, the Nile murmuring, the frog croaking, the fronds rustling, the tunic scratching, the amulet cooling, the courtyard sanding, the altar lotusing, the village stirring, the sand slipping, the basin cooling, the droplets trickling, the comb tugging, the braid forming, the tunic